Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another edition of Intuitive Angling. Thanks for tuning in. Just out here in the gym parking lot, getting ready to go in for my workout this afternoon. Wanted to kick out today's video real quick. And today I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion, sort of an interesting topic on what's more important to you, fishing or catching. And I think about this a lot, and I thought about it a lot, really, with the advent of all the new technology we've had in electronics, and overall, the direction that the sport is going more complicated. So it makes me think a lot what people value more, the fishing than the catching. So we're going to have a little bit of discussion on that. A couple of different things here. I know everybody's sort of got a different perspective on this, but I think a lot of it it depends on what you are looking to get out of the sport. One of the things that I think get overlooked a lot in bass fishing and fishing in general is how important it is just to be out fishing, just to be outside, just to feel the sun on your face, feel the wind in your face, being out in the elements, be out in nature, being in the therapeutic environment of nature. And that's why everybody responds to it the same way. If you go on a wilderness canoe trip in the boundary waters of Canada, where you don't see another sign of civilization, you don't hear any sounds of civilization, all you hear is loons and nature, and it's peaceful and quiet. No, everybody responds to that. Everybody responds in a very, very positive manner, because it touches us on a primal level, something that we really need. But if you go, say for example, you go to Lake Wheeler in Alabama, and you're trying to catch fish in front of the dog food plant, where they're swinging around heavy cranes and dump trucks are flapping their back doors super loud, and you can hear the highway noise in the background, and you got weird smells in the air. That's just not the same. That's fishing, but it's not the same as fishing on the boundary waters of Canada, or in Lake Powell or Lake Mead, real remote type areas. And from that standpoint, everybody can appreciate the fishing for the aesthetic part of it, for the part of it that goes beyond the obvious. And I think if you don't, you probably haven't been exposed to that enough. You've probably been exposed to environments where you're sort of numb to it a little bit. If you guys are raised on the Tennessee River Lakes, Pickwick, Wheeler, Gunnersville, that Chickamauga, that type of stuff, you know what I'm talking about. It's not very pleasing aesthetically. You've got nuclear power plants in the background, you've got industrial stuff. It's just not the same, man. So from that standpoint of it, the fishing part of it is important, to be in the right environment to do so. As far as catching goes, everybody loves to catch them. I love to jack them, man. I love to catch fish, feel the bite, catch the fish, and that type of stuff. That's what we do it for. It's those moments of actually getting a bite and setting the hook and fighting the fish to the boat is what keeps us coming back over and over again to that whole fishing experience. But I think a lot of times the catching aspect of it gets overlooked for the benefits that come from the fishing aspect of it. And a lot of this has to do with patience. I found out that people that really appreciate fishing and get it and understand fishing, they tend to be a little more patient than a lot of people. Impatient people want to get bit. They want to constantly move on to what's next. They can't slow down. They can't relax, that type of stuff. I think one of the things that we can all train ourselves to do is to sort of take a step back and take a deep breath. And when you're out there fishing, absorb every single thing you can around it that is beneficial to you, and look at it as catching fish as a bonus. Because how many times have you guys been out fishing and it may not have been the greatest day on the water? Say you got 2 or 3 bites all day long, but those bites became special. It's like if you have those days out there where you're catching 60, 70 fish a day, you don't appreciate as much. It's just it becomes a numbers game. But when you go out there and you fully immerse yourself in the environment of fishing, and you get those 2 or 3 bites a day, then you can really appreciate that. Because the only way that you can appreciate a really, really great day on the water is by having not very great days on the water, which we have more than not, guys. Most Most of bass fishing out there is having not very good days on the water. The good days on the water are few and far between. I'll use an example of a on the water lesson I had a while back. I had a couple guys that hadn't fished very much at all, and they just wanted to learn more about fishing. And we went jerkbait fishing in the wintertime down at Table Rock. And it was one of those days where they were just biting like crazy. I mean, we must have caught 70 bass that day. And the guys that I had out, it's like they were having a good time, but they didn't have anything to experience it or to compare it with. So they sort of felt that was just what you do every time. They didn't get the full appreciation to what they were actually experiencing. They were both experiencing the day of their life. They'll probably never have another day of fishing like that on a lake that gets as much fishing pressure as Table Rock Lake. So from that standpoint, that waters down the experience. Now, somebody that has fished forever and have been through those many days where you didn't get a bite all day long, you can truly appreciate what that's like to catch 70 fish in a day and how that stays with you your entire life. So thing about the video here, just wanted to reiterate is, man, when you're bass fishing or fishing in general, I don't care what level you're on. I don't care if I'm talking to Jacob Wheeler or I'm talking to some dude that, you know, has just, you know, been fishing one time his whole life. You're going to get a lot more out of it if you absorb the entire experience, absorb the preparation for the trip, absorb driving to the lake, launching the boat, everything that comes with the natural world surrounding the lake, you know, all the elements that involve with it, and really take the time to appreciate every single catch that you have, you know, because I think a lot of times I see guys that are good anglers that catch lots of fish. Their appreciation for the fishing goes downhill as their skill levels go up. The fish almost become an inanimate object. I fished with several people that haven't fished much in their lives before, and when they catch a fish, maybe it was their first fish, or maybe they've never caught a certain species of fish. Some of these people, the wonderment that they have when they see that fish, they see the texture and the color and the smells of a fish that most people they don't appreciate anymore. They're just oblivious to it. So take the time to smell the roses is the point of this video, guys. Don't get caught up into jacking jaws and just getting bit and, you know, running balls to the wall down the lake 70 miles an hour, then turning on your live scope. Try to appreciate the moment, man. Try to appreciate the things that are a little bit, you know, more on the natural side. And I think you'll just get a lot more of a wholesome experience out of the sport. So anyway, I was going to get here and get lifting some weights. Hope you guys are doing good, and we'll see y'all later.